right, away we go. And this is test E25. What is the probability of not green and not blue? So who is blue? 0.3. Who is green is 0.1. So together that makes 0.4 or 40%. The other 60% will be not. So it's always 1 minus the 0.4. Okay? You could also have added up. You could have taken away the blues and the greens and added up those decimals, 2211, to get 6. Okay? What is the equation solve for this one? It would be equation solver if you want, or you could just subtract the 1/3 from both sides. So you would get x is 3/4 minus 1/3. Okay? You could also do that with equation solver. Let's look at equation solver for this. You would go math, numeric solver. On the left side, you would hit what you saw, 3/4. And on the right side, you would hit x plus 1/3. Notice I don't make fracas out of them, no need to. Okay, alpha, solve, and you get 0.41. Remember that's solved now as x mathifraca. So the answer is 5/12 G. Easy multiplication, you multiply the numbers and add the exponents. So it would be 21 a to the 9th, b to the 10th, choice D. Okay, how many transactions of exactly 3 video rentals were made during July? So that would be 26%. Percent is always of 600. So it would be on the calculator 600 times 0.26. And that would give you the answer of 156, choice H. The pizza was cut into 8 pieces. Jana ate 3. So what portion of the pizza did she eat? She ate 3/8. Once again, of the 1560 of pizza. So the calculator answer would be 3/8 per portion times the whole pizza, which was 15.6. Answer is 585 is what she owes for her slice. Answer D. F of 1, you could plug in 1 for x. Then get 5 plus 3 squared is 64. Answer K. You know I'm going to like stow for this, of course. So 1 stow x, because we're replacing x with 1, and what was it? 5x plus 3 squared. And there's the answer, 64. Average is total. The average of 4 numbers is 6. So I'm going to multiply and get 24. The total given is 16. So who's the last number? 24 minus 16, 8. Here's a rare one we don't see anymore. Midpoint given. The midpoint is 3, 5. and the other point is 1, 2. We go program. I have to hit the button twice. Alpha M gets me to the midpoints. Midpoint given, I've already forgotten. It's 3, 5 is the midpoint. Notice you enter that first, and then you enter 1, 2. Great use of our programs to get the answer 5, 8, which is H. Another good use of the calculator is to put the -3 inside of the abs. So I would go -3, math, number, abs, -3, outside, a minus, and then what were the other numbers? Another abs, 7 minus 49. Oops, I need to go over abs, and 7 minus 49. All the minuses are big except for the 3. The 3 you're going to hit baby minus and get -39. Choice B. Here we go with the Opera House. The rectangular region has a length of 605 and a width of 388. So it's 605 times 388, and you could have used the rectangle program if you wished. And then how many acres? It's 43,560. So we divide by 43,560 to get the answer. 5.4 acres. Now let's make sure we have the right answer here. It's going to be 5, closest to the pin. So, of course, when you did the area, you would get the area in feet squared, and then you would times it by the ratio 1 acre is 43,560 feet squared. That's how you know you're dividing. Hadn't seen this much. It looks like negative exponents is what they're teaching you. So 5 squared is 25, and the x goes down, the y stays up, and the 7 goes down. The way I teach negative exponents is they go under. The two shorter sides of a right triangle, so this is going to be a hypotenuse, are 2 and 3. The longest side is the opposite leg, so easiest just to use Pythagorean theorem. And if you're lazy like me, you use the hypot program. There's my 2, there's my 3, and the answer is the square root of 13 or 3.6, and they definitely are asking for the 3.6. This is a simult, but you'd have to, most people would just sub y and x since they're equal. So 2x is 10, and the answer would be 5. You could also have done simult, but you would have had to have kicked the x to the other side. And by this point, most of y'all see the elimination, but you could have put simult in there with -1. Let's see it. I always have to hit that extra button now. S, simult. So it would be -1 coefficients only. 1, 0. And then it was 1, 1, 10. And there we go. We got the answer 5, 5. So either way, answer D. Geometric is when we multiply. In this case, we're multiplying by 1/2 or just dividing by 2. So we go 24 is first, divided by 2, second, third, fourth, see, I have no pride, fifth, sixth, seventh. So the seventh term, Matha-Fracka, is 3/8, or 0.375. They let me do the decimal, no Matha-Fracka, huh? What is S? The square root has to be less than 9, but greater than 4. Well, could it be 2.5? The square root of 2.5 is not it. I suspect it's going to be 7.6. Let's see what the square root of that is. That's 2.75. No, that's not big enough. Let's go to 12.7. That might work. 12.7 square root is, oh gosh, I'm still not there. It's got to be 39. So it's the square root of 39.3. What a gaffe. I took a half hour to do something that should have taken me, I should have recognized that a lot faster. Okay, what's this? It's parallel to, so it has to have the same slope of -5, so that reduces to right here, just F and G, and it's got a y-intercept is 2. You can also plug in 0, 2 for X and Y to see that the answer is G, because if you plug in 0, you will get 2 for the answer. So G is the correct answer. 7, you could do the famous Y2, Y1, but I'm just going to do my slope program. 6, -1, and 4, 3. So I go program, I hit my button, I go through the back door, and hit 6, -1, and 4, 3. Notice it's going to give you the equation of the line. Y is -2x plus 11, but we just want the slope is -2, choice A. Got to know some algebra here to solve for x. I like to rewrite it this way because I like removing, so we're going to add 5 and divide by 3. So it could either be this answer, which it is, okay, or you could split the 3 and do this, which I don't see up there, but the 3 would have to go into both of them. So a capacity of 30 is 5/6 full. So I'm going to multiply the 30 times 5/6. And that gives 25. Now what happens is he removes 1/8 of the water. So if we remove 1/8, that means we times it by 1/8 and subtract that number. So I'm going to remove 3.125 from the tank, and I always just use answer rather than test it, and it would be 21.875. Uh-oh, they want a mixty. So I would go Matha-Fracka, and then alpha y equals 3 is the way to turn it into a mixed number. So it's 21 7/8, choice D. Distribute and add the like terms. So we distribute the 3. Careful, you're distributing a negative here. So the negative changes the signs. -5a plus 10b. So it ends up being -2a plus 13b, choice K. Oh, they get down and dirty with this one. The answer is, let's see, and they're going to add 2/3 of the increase. So we made a 57, then went up to a 72. When I subtract, the increase is 15, and they're going to times it by 2/3 to up her score that many points. So her score is going to go up 10 points to a 67. So you see what the teacher did? If I ever give a makeup, they want the 72. But she said, no, I'm not going to give all of it. I'm only going to give 2/3 of the increase. So you times it by 2/3 to get it. This would be the cube root trick. 24 is 8 times 3, and the 8 is 3 deuces. So the 2 would get out, and it would be 2 cube roots of 3h. Another way would have been to match that up on the calculator. You could have gone math, cube root is 4, and gotten this funkadelic answer 2.88. Well, you know it's not these two. That's not 2.88. So then I would match it up to these. Let's try the right one, which is 2 math cube root of 2, and bada bing. Oh, wait. It would be 2, what did I mess up? It'd be 2 cube root of 3, huh? I typed in the wrong number. It would be 2 times the cube root of 3 should give me the 2.888. Sorry about that. Happens all the time, especially when I'm crossing over like this. Let's see, on a rectangular sheet of paper, we drew a triangle whose base is the same as the length. So basically that triangle is going to look like this with the same base. So if you want, you could make up 2 numbers and just say the rectangle's 10 by 8. So the rectangle's area would be 80, and the triangle would have the same exact length and width. So you could do area of a triangle with 10 and 8. There it is. And altitude is 10 and the base is 8. But it's 40, which is half of 80. So it's 1/2. The answer is C. That's because of the formula. A triangle is 1/2 altitude base. Woo, this is a tough one. 5 people are invited to the party. Here they are. And they want to count how many games in what's called a round robin. Everybody's going to play each other. Well, all 5 people are going to play how many games? 4. Because all 5 have to play each other. Right? So that looks like it would be 20 games. However, you have to divide by 2. Why do you divide by 2? Is because I don't want to count the games Collier playing Maria and Maria playing Collier. So when you count it, you count the number of people, 5, times 4, which there is 1 less, and you divide by 2. Clever trick, 10 games. So that means 2, 3, 4, 7. So 10 is going to be J to make 20, to make 10 total games. Oh, I love this one. A parallelogram, regardless how you draw it, the sides are equal opposite. One side measures 18, the other, of course, is going to be 18. Now the perimeter is 80. So you go 80 minus the 2 we used up already, the 2 18s, and then that's how much is left for the other side divided by 2. So 22 has to be the other sides, and there's your answer, C, 18, 22, 22. That has to be, over the years, one of the most popular problems of all time. I had trouble with this one. Reading it, the minimum clear for a wheelchair is 42 inches. And here's how many spaces we would have to make for handicap seating. So if we're in a big arena, we'd have to get 6 wheelchair places. So here we go. It's listed in feet. So in feet. So we have to see what the clearance is in feet. It would be 42 inches, right? So I would just divide 42 by 12. And here's a trick I always, 3.5. The trick is I take the 12 times 3 and see what's left. So it would be 36. So it would be 42 minus 36. But the half gives it away because you know a half a foot is 6. So we have to be at least, what is that, 3.5 feet. So how many elevator cars do not meet the standard for minimum door? And in this list, that would be 2 of them, It would be the 3.6 and the 3.8 would not, and the other 3 would. So the answer is G. An elevator car with center doors has a door clear width that is 8% wider than the minimum distance. What would that be? So the minimum clearance is 42 inches. So we would have to increase that 42 by 8%. So I would times the 42 by 0.08. So that would be 42 times 8%. And of course, that would be the increase, and I would add it to 42. So that would be about 45.3. So the closest to it would be 45. A local college will construct a 2-floor building. Each of the 5 will have 20 seats. So the 20-seated one would have to have how many wheelchair access? Only 1, And the other one will have 35 seats. So each of the 8 classrooms on the second floor. So the 5 on the first floor only need 1 each, and the 8 on the second floor need 2 each. So we're going to need 5 plus 16, 21 wheelchair seats. Believe it or not, you can use slope for this. All the answers are linear ratios. So we'll go 396 396, and the second one 7,224. Once I saw that y equals 32x, and there it is, choice A. Once I saw that they were linear, I knew what I was doing. The 2 non-right angles of any right triangle. So here's a right triangle. These 2 angles have to be complementary. They have to be add up to 90. They're definitely not vertical. Vertical is when 2 lines intersect. That ain't happening. Supplementary, they're not. That's add up to 180. Obtuse, they're not, because they're clearly less than 90. And they certainly don't have to be congruent. Choice F. Temperature in Chicago was -4 at noon and rose 24 degrees by 3 p.m. So by 3 p.m., it was up to 20 in Chicago. The temperature in New Orleans was 42 and dropped 24, so you drop it and it's 18. New Orleans is colder than Chicago, if you can imagine that, by 2 degrees. It does happen. All right, here's some angle play. It says OC bisects BOD. So it's a bisector of this big angle. Well, we know this one is 40. So 180 minus 40, because it completes the half moon, is 140. That's going to make these 70 each, because you're going to divide 140 by 2, right? Now, still ain't the question. If this is 70, isn't this 110? Because that would complete this half moon, and this last one is vertical to that 70. Answer J. 33 is about circumference of a circle, because it is the 6 circular loops with diameter 10. So how much rope do I need? So you can use the program circumference of a circle, which is number 9. Diameter, be careful, is not 10. The radius is what we're looking for, so we want to enter 5. So the answer is 10 pi, but really we want the number 31.41. We don't need to carry it out any more than that, and I think we made 6 loops, so it would be 188 is the answer, and it's closest to it, so it would be D. Use of matrices, but when you add matrices, you add the numbers in the spot. So if this is a 2 and this is a 7, the answer is 9. If this is a 1 and this is a -4, the answer in the lower right is that. So 5 plus what has to give you 10? Doesn't A have to be 5? And 12 plus B has to give you 4. So doesn't B have to be 4 minus 12? And their product is -40. Right triangle, ABC. The right angle is at B. I don't think the others matter. Chief SOHCAHTOA says the sine of A is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So this has to be 12, and this has to be 13. Now, can't we do leg to find this side? So it's a little bit of Chief SOHCAHTOA, and it's a little bit of leg. So we're going to do the leg program. Many of y'all know this answer without leg because it's a memorized triple. The hypotenuse was 13, and the other leg was 12. So the answer is 5, or the square root of 25. So this has to be 5. And now look at the question. SOHCAHTOA back at you. Tangent of C is C's opposite over adjacent. 5 to 12. Answer A. This one was tough. One configuration was to have only rows of 12, and the other was to only have rows of 15, and one was to have only rows of 20. There was always one person less. So guess what you do, y'all? It's the LCM of 12, 15, and 20. They love to do hidden LCM problems, because if it was perfect, what was it, 12, if it was perfect and everybody had a seat, then there would be 60 seats in the house. But instead, there's one person left over. Boom, 59. If p is an integer and there's two solutions, it's not going to be negative 48 because that doesn't factor. The answers would be square root. But I guarantee it's negative 36 because that would be 36 and we would get plus or minus 6 in our factoring. What's going on here? 17 members of the Honor Society. There are juniors. You can't be a second year junior because you can only join. So here it is. What is the probability that the member chosen of the 17, so the denominator's 17, I just gave you nothing, will not be a senior who is in his first, how's it go? What is the probability the member chosen will not be a senior who is in his or her second year? So that's these many, That's how many are that. So the nots are the others. So the not, second time today, the not reverse probability. This one killed my students, and it's just a simple counting of how many ways there are to get from here to here. Now, you can't circle back, so you can't like loop-de-loop. So ready? 1. Now I can't go that way anymore. 2. 3. So there's only 3 ways going to the right. Well, guess what? There are 3 more ways going down. 1. Can't do that again. 2, 3. So the answer is 6 ways G. Again, you can't circle back on me. All right, chance to use our ABI, and it's simply 3 plus I squared, something I'll teach you in the 8 plus 6i. How lovely is that? Choice C. All right, now it gets rough. Which of the following is f of g of? Well, you'll hear me say this in the class. Copy g. So g is the square root of x plus 3. And then plug that into f, which is 2 times x. So it's 2 times the square root of x plus 3. Choice F. Close that door, guys. F is the answer. Close that door, please. In a small school with 20 seniors, 8 are in soccer. This is a famous Venn diagram. So soccer has 8 guys, and 9 are in the band, and 5 are in both. So this has started. There are 5 people in both the intersection. So what I do is I take out 5. They said 8 are in soccer. So that means there are 3 out here. 3 plus 5 is 8. So there are 3 soccer guys not in the band. And there are 4, 9 minus 5, band guys who are not in soccer. So who's neither nor, who's not in either one, is D. Because there'll be 8 left over after you count these 12. You got me? So that's a counting method of using the middle to count by subtraction, subtracting them out. Okay, for x less than -5, this number is going to be imaginary. Okay, if you put in an x less than -5 on the calculator, let's just say -10, and then you try to go the negative of the square root of x plus 5, you will get an I number, which is imaginary. So the answer is K, imaginary. What's going on here? North down from January 1st through those years, what is the yearly change, the average yearly change from 2003 to 2005? So I'm going to subtract to see what the change was. 1972 minus 1726. Boom. And it's average, so that's a 2-year change. The average change is 123. Choice C. Oh, I love this one. How much of the bin is filled? So I just do box, and I see that the box is 50 by 5 by 5. Well, do y'all know that answer without me doing box? It would be 50 times 5 times 5. So the volume is 1250. And I am pouring 175. So how many feet of the bin would be filled? So 175 would be what portion of the total volume? And 50 is the total height, so it would be X. So it would be 50 times 175. Divided by 1250. Ooh, they used to love this one. Hadn't seen it lately. The slope is the number next to the x, and the y-intercept is the number. So we have a positive sloped A. It can't be B or C. They're going down. Can't be E either, huh? So it's down to A and D. So, and we have to have a positive y-intercept, so the answer has to be A. One more thing, it's got to be less than or equal to, so we have to shade the underside of the answer. Ooh, what is the average? Average is total, huh? So you have to multiply these up. 5 students scored 0, so that's 0 points. 10 students said 1. 25 gave me a 2. 40 gave me a 3, so I times that. And 10 students gave it a 4. So there's your average. You can add those up. 60, 180. I got 220 for 90 students. So I add up 220 and divide by 90. Notice they want it as a mixed number. So I will go math frac, second time today. So we're learning, huh? And 3 will turn it to a mixed number. 2 and 4/9, answer G. Average or mean is add them up and divide. This one's cool. A vote revealed that chocolate ice cream was more students than any other. which of the following was likely to increase, which of the following statistical measures was most likely to increase this result? So that would have to be the mode, huh? Because it was the most chosen ice cream, huh? It was favored by more students. Weird. This one got me. I think I missed it when I took it in real life. They want, I think I forgot to multiply by 2, because each square is 2 feet. So we want the perimeter of the drawing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then how long is this going to be? Well, you got to do Pythagorean theorem, huh? You got to drop this and count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this one is 6. So use your hypotenuse to get the 10. So there we go. The total perimeter is, add up all the black marks. Again, you don't use this empty one, and add 10 and you get 26, which is what I put, except you're supposed to times it by 2 to get 52. I blew that one. What would be the area in square feet of the garden? I would do 2 things here. I would do this rectangle right here would be 2 across and 8 high. So that would be 16 for the rectangle. And then the triangle would be 1/2 6 times 8, or my program for area of a triangle. The bases and height is 6 and 8. So the area would be 1/2 of that product, 24. So there we have it. We've got a 16 on this and a 24 on that. Add them together, and the area of the garden is 40. Uh-oh, what did I screw up again? It should be 160, and that's because each one is 2 feet. So we're going to have to double those measurements. So the triangular part is not 2 by 8, it is 4 by 16, which would be 64, and the base would be 12 by 16, which would give me 96. So I blew it on the first one, but I caught my error for the second one, because each length is 2 feet. And then, which is the theta down there? Let me clear out all this roughage. The theta is going to be right here, and of course it is based on this right triangle, so the side opposite is 8, and the adjacent side is 6. Well, who does that is tangent, so the tangent is 8 over 6. The answer is going to have to be K. Great use of solver. Log 2 of that is 1. It is a hard equation to do by hand. So math, last numeric solver. I have a log base 2. So I go to log base 2, and I have a fracca inside the log. So I go alpha y equals, and a great reason to have this calculator, y'all, for this equation. So it'd be 3x plus 4 over x minus 2. Is 1. And I will go, okay, alpha solve, error. So you go to it and you put a positive number in there. That's probably the problem. You could also put one of the answers in there, and the answer is 4 for the x. D. Want to do it for real? You're going to hate me. It's log. 2 to the first power is 2. You're going to have to cross multiply. So it would be 2x minus 4 is equal to that. You could put in equation solver now. Now you got to square both sides. So that would be equal to 4x squared minus 16x plus 16. And you're going to go 4x squared minus 19x plus 20. And then you're going to do quad 2002, which will give you the answer 4. Where is g of f of defined? Well, again, you're going to plug f in right here, and f is 4x plus 12, huh? That's me copying it. Now what does it do? It goes into g. So g is 1 over 4x plus 12, and who remembers? The bottom can't be 0. So please set the 4x plus 12 equal to 0 and solve. So that would be x is negative 12 over 4. X cannot be negative 3. That is the answer. Um, 55 is funny. It's saying it beeps at 4 seconds after it is activated, and every 6 seconds after that. So I got no pride here. I'm just going to count it. So 4 seconds later, and then every 6 seconds after that. So I keep adding 6. And what am I doing, y'all? I'm counting how many times it goes off in a minute. So there it is. After 58, I'm done. So that would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a minute. The second one's not as moody. It beeps 29 seconds after it's activated, and every 30 after that, so only twice. So this one's going off 10 times a minute. That one's going off twice, so isn't that 12? So it's 12 times a minute, so it's going to be 12t. Not too bad, huh, for a number 55. Less than 0. Well, is 3 going to be less than 0? No. Is x to the 4th going to be less than 0? Never. Y has to be less than 0 for this to go under h. Oh, brother. This one's hard. MNTP. So if this whole thing is x and this is y, then this is going to be x minus y. And this is going to be y So all of the sides of the square on the inside are Pythagorean theorem. We go y squared plus x minus y squared equals the side squared. So it'd be y squared plus FOIL, x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. That's equal to the side TP squared, huh? Now the two y's add together, and I'm going to be clever and tell you that that's the answer, because that's what TP squared is, and that's the area of this inner squared. So the answer is E. Oh boy, we're doing this in Algebra 2. We would multiply everybody by xy, the greatest denominator, huh? Everybody gets an xy. So this guy's x squared, and this guy's x minus y. So the x factors out of the top, and the x minus y's cancel. Look how crazy that is. The answer is x. I'm going to give that to my Algebra 2 students and see if they get it. Let's see what's going on here. This one you got to be a whiz in trig, but naturally it's number 59. It says we have an acute angle here, and the cosine of A is equal to B. Now cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So if this is angle A, then the cosine is B over 1, since cosine is equal to B. Now Pythagorean theorem, this side B squared plus x squared is 1. So x squared is 1 minus b squared. So this is the square root of 1 minus b squared. So we just have to plug that into the formula, y'all. Double angle is cosine squared. Well, we knew the cosine was b. And minus sine squared, which we know is that from Pythagorean theorem, squared, huh? So it would be that number squared. So it would end up being b squared minus the whole quantity. So we do the minus distributed in, and we'd end up with getting 2b squared minus 1. That one's going to have trig superlatives there. Okay. This one I got by, well, if every circle has a radius r, well, let's count. 1r, 2r, 3r, 4r, huh? And that's all the lengths of the sides, huh? So it's a equilateral triangle whose sides is 4r, and you could drop the altitude from the top here to the bottom. That's going to split this into 2r, 2r. And if you know your 30, 60, 90, this is going to be, the 30's half the hypotenuse. This is 2r root 3. So the formula for the triangle is 1/2 altitude times the base 4r. So the 2's would cancel, and you're going to end up getting 4 root 3 r squared, which is f. Some people might remember this formula. This is the formula for equilateral. Plug in 4r for the side, and you would get 4 root 3 after you squared it and canceled. You'd get 4r root 3. Well, that's all, folks.